My name is Reuben Argut. I'm the general manager of Golf Hotel and Mount Elgon Lodge. We're also taking care of Cabernet Hotel, which are both, all of them, the subsidiaries of Tourism Finance Corporation under the Ministry of Tourism. I'm now 2 years old in this place, and we are trying to turn around tourism in Western region. I'm one of the few Kenyans, or many of them, who have had a very humble background. And where we are, we've come a long way. First and foremost, I am one person that had a very humble beginning. I didn't know I did not have a father until I was in standard 3. It is at that time when I was told the name I was using was not actually my father's name, because that was the name of the elder brother to my father. But we had lived as a family for all those years. So it's very humbling that I've come that far. It's also emotional, because as it were, for me, I have dedicated myself from the time I started schooling. And I'm very grateful that I've had a journey that anybody else would want to be very proud about. And you want to imagine that most probably it is a journey that the most successful children of this country should have gone through. Yet, I don't think I deserved it. I went to the best schools in this country. I have gone to the best colleges. I have gone out of this country to the best universities. Yet, my background really is not anything that I would say is, I deserved it. It's very emotional. I went to Kabarak High School for my O level, Cabernet High School for my A levels. I trained in a teacher training college that is Eldoret University now as a teacher. I went to Utali College to do my hotel management, and thereafter got employed in some of the best hotels in this country, Sarava Hotels, and then thereafter I went back to the college as a lecturer, and I got a chance to go to Florida International University. In all this, I would say I spent nearly zero. First of all, because in my school life, I worked my way to get bursaries. But the colleges I joined, fortunately, they were giving opportunities to students without necessarily having to pay fees. I got a scholarship for the teacher training college. At Utali College at that particular time, the government was fully sponsoring, and it was the most competitive. Going to the US was a government sponsorship. So really it was, it's been a very, very humbling experience for me, and that I think anybody is capable of going through, and no one should ever imagine that you are less, because when God opens the way, you will go through. I got into the hospitality industry more of by default, but I think it is a matter of interest also that pushed me there. first and foremost, from my background, I remember when I was in primary school, like I said again before, that I've grown up from a very humble background. At one time, I lived with a family, and when I was in primary school, I used to do odd jobs. One of the things I used to do was, work in a small restaurant in the village, and I was so tiny that I would actually cook chapatis under the counter. And I guess that is where I developed the interest on food industry. But in the decision to join the hospitality industry, I actually picked up from the newspapers and I just saw utalii. And I'm excited about travel, I'm excited about food industry, I'm excited about, sightseeing. So I decided to apply. And I got invited for the interview. But before then, I got the option of joining the teacher training college. So I went to the college, but thereafter, when I got the invitation to go for the interview for utalii, I did go to utalii. Unfortunately though, at that time, joining utalii college was very competitive. When I got the invitation to join the college, my letter delayed, and I was late for one day. I actually lost the opportunity because I was late for one day. So I went back to join the teacher training college. And when I completed, I actually did very well. I did very well because I was committed now and said, if I have lost the other option, then this one I must work very hard. I was one of the only 3 students that got a first-class diploma in science education. But then when I joined high school to teach the high school, after 2 terms, utalii again advertised for the same. I reapplied. So when the college advertised for the second time, I was then teaching. And I did reapply because of the same interest that I had. Actually, after when I did the first interview, I saw the college. I was very excited about the level of cleanliness. That was the thing that really pushed me to the next level. And I said, wow, what an institution. This is the kind of neatness that I would love in life. And it took me back to imagine even when I built my first hut in the village. Actually, whereas in my community we built round houses, I was the only person who built a hut of an hexagon. Is it hexagon? 7 corners. And I even had a ceiling under the hut. So I had a unique way of liking certain things. So when I saw utalii, how the level of cleanliness, the neatness in the compound and everything else, that was a thing that I carried all the way. That when I had a second chance, I said I will reapply. I reapplied. I attended the interview. Again, successfully, I was now invited. This time around, fortunately in the school, I was in charge of, I was having the key to the post box. So this time around, my letter did not disappear. When I went to the post office box and I saw the first envelope, which was in white, that was the first one I pulled out. And I saw my name. When I opened, it was my invitation. I always say the first thing that I would like people to remember me about is doing the right thing right. Irrespective of how painful it may be, whether it is in the family or at my place of work. No compromises about standards, no compromises about integrity issues, no compromises about, how things, should be done, and live an honest life. Be honest with the people you're dealing with. Let them know, even, I have staff that I work with. team, a big team for that matter, but I'm always very straight and very honest with them. If I'm not, then I will not have the moral authority to even tell them that is wrong. So the success in what I do is based on the fact that I have to be honest and have a high level of integrity when I'm dealing with them, so that everyone understands when it is a no, or if it is not possible, it is not possible. However, listening to them, consulting with everyone, including your own children, is very, very important. That does not mean you don't bend, but you only do it when it's got to be done. However, you cannot compromise on matters of integrity or matters that actually define the core values that you should live by. So basically, to me, I see success based on the fact that this is what the society, this is what is right. The challenges we are facing in our communities and in our country and anywhere else, and even in our own organizations, is really based on people compromising. When you compromise on, there are values, there are standards that are set in places, but how many people really stand by them? People compromise them simply to benefit, selflessness. You can't do that. So to me, it is very, very important that when you are in your life, you do the right things, get the things done right. Let those who you are leading or the people you are living with understand very clearly that this is the way things are supposed to be done. That is the right way to do. If there is anything wrong, and you should be ready at any one time. If you have made a mistake also, be magnanimous enough to say, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Okay? So ideally, the truth of the matter is that in all manner of, whatever we are carrying out, whatever we are doing, we ought to be as honest and have a high level of integrity in whatever we are doing. That way, people will understand you and live by you. I would rather be remembered to be straight and to the point and right, doing things right, rather than bending. I have ever met I told you I have trained in a college. I've ever met one of my students one time in an environment that was very interesting. When I sat down, he bought me a drink. I didn't know who bought the drink. When I sat there and I moved away, the gentleman, the waiter, told me, no, just hold on, this is your drink, bought by that person. When that person came to where I was, he introduced himself. And I said, I don't seem to remember you. He said, oh yes, you trained me. But you know what, Mwalim? He called me Mwalim. When you were teaching me in class, I would understand everything. But when it comes to the exams, I could read and understand, and I thought I understood. I answered the questions, but I was failing. I marginally passed. You were very mean in maths. Then I asked him, I don't give marks, you score. He said, oh yes. And he went further and said, I never used to like you because you were very mean with marks. I said, so? I asked myself, then why did you buy the drink? Then he says, the things you used to tell us about how life is out here are the things that have made me who I am today. And I'm so happy, I'm so proud that even with the minimum score of just 50 or 51% that I was scoring, we used to score it out of 10. What you used to tell us is what has made me who I am. And I asked him a very simple question. Assuming when you scored 4.9 and you needed a 0.1 to get 50% or 5 out of 10, then you come to me and you start bleeding, Mwalim, oh, and then I start, let's say, trying to check your paperwork again and looking for a 0.1 so that you get 5. If today you knew me to be that kind of lecturer who compromised and gave you 0.1 out of, you know, and so that to make you pass? Would you have respected me? Would you have come here and said, if you saw me, now you are seeing me seated with my colleagues, what would you be saying? Wouldn't you be saying, or tomorrow if I wanted to be anybody in this country, you'd be saying, what is this man telling me? Isn't it? He laughed it off and he said, by the way, you are right. It is good to have a mentor. It's good to have a mentor because, again, mentors guide. Mentors help you, you know, shape your life. Personally, directly as a mentor, I don't have one now. I used to have one when I was in Utalii, and I used to have a lot of respect for him. He was my lecturer. Thereafter, he also, we worked together with him, but I since lost him in an accident. I actually named one of my sons after him, but having a mentor is something good. It provides guidance, assists people, and then of course you tend to listen to your mentor because most of the time your mentor would not, we all believe, and it is a fact, that they would not mislead you. If you are corrupt, for example, you will never have a moral authority of telling other people why are you being corrupt. If you steal, you will never have the moral authority of telling someone else why you're stealing. So live right, stand right, be truthful, and have a high level of integrity. I've had a number of successes. First and foremost, in the institutions I've worked in. Utalii, I have succeeded in doing quite a number of programs, management programs, setting them and developing those programs. When I left Utalii College and joined the industry, my first hotel was in Nakuru and another one a lodge. And one of the success stories I have about it is the fact that, that is Lake Bogoria Spa Resort, is that I set up a very exciting restaurant, turning around the place. You know, I went to a lodge where it was grass like this, but in 2 years, and they were even in, you know, like they had never paid salaries for 7 months. And in 3 months, I had actually succeeded in actually getting the employees to pay all the arrears and turning around the place. And one interesting thing is that I remember some of the guests who used to be going to the hot springs. One time they asked my employees, who is your general manager? Then they mentioned my name. Then they say, is he Indian? They said no, because they didn't expect, they had seen the facility, how it was for many years, and they did not expect an African would turn it around. Turning around that place was more of, you know, thinking around it and saying, how do you turn a facility around, which over time, as you know, you are next to a park, yet you're not benefiting from it. So finally, I broke the chain by thinking about something that was closer to the main road, closer to the community, and it is what turned around that place. I moved out of that place. Another success story, I went to Southern Sudan to set up another facility of the same. Actually, this was a state lodge in in eastern Equatoria, in South Sudan, and we brought it to what I would call a 3-star in Kenya. And it remained one of the best facilities in that particular place. I have returned back. I also set up, I was part of a team that developed actually a hotel facility in Westlands in Nairobi. And we were working with some international interior designer, a 99-room hotel. And we only stopped at the point whereby the investors decided that they wanted to delay the project. However, in all this, including in golf, where I am, which is a government institution, and for a very long time, We have a number of other facilities. We have about 7 subsidiaries. The challenge that I had when I came in was first and foremost to maintain its profitability, because out of the 7 subsidiaries, it's the only one that has been making profit. And I have consistently turned around the facility. It is now questions. You sit out here and you will listen to clients and they ask themselves whether this is a government facility, because again of our attitude that government institutions tend to be thoroughly run down. Now we are now moving to the next phase of expanding on our profitability, on our revenue centers. And we are soon going to be refurbishing this place. We have another lodge in Mount Elgon. Those are my success stories in terms of turning around the facilities. Each facility that I have gone in the last 12, 13 years, I have rebranded each one of them. And it's never been any different, and it's never gone down than what it was before. But more importantly is developing the people also that are in each one of those institutions. I have built them up, I have sent them for further training, because the success story of every institution is not in the equipment, it's not in the property, but it is in the personnel that you're having. As an individual, you've got to be upright. You've got to be an example to yourself, first and foremost. You know, define yourself for who you are for others. It is not what you tell them, it is who you are. People see you and make a judgment for who you are, not what you're telling them. That is the most important thing. So I tend to walk my talk rather than talk my walk. So it makes no sense, you know, what you preach to people. The chances are what you tell them, they've been told by other people. But then do they see it in you? Is the example in you? So you walk the talk. If it is a question of being neat or dressing well, don't tell people polish your shoes or whatever. Polish yours first. Let them see that every day you have polished shoes. So walk your talk and let your walk talk to their people. Thank you.